Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Rescued Chibok schoolgirl Amina Ali gets new lease of life after meeting with President Buhari. Nationwide strike enters day 2 with labor unions leading protests in various states. Federal government threatens to enforce no work, no pay rule. Foreign Affairs Minister says Africa remains the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy, with missions abroad to attract investments. And wreckage of Egypt air flight MS-804 found south of Greek island in the Mediterranean after going down overnight. Just to remind you now that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Let's now take a look at some of those pictures that were sent in to us. We begin with this set from Akwa Ibom state capital, and that's the city of Uyo, showing people during the industrial action embarked on by the Nigeria Labour Congress to protest against the fuel price hike. And from Akure, the Ondo state capital, comes this next picture of people whom our Eyewitness reporter says are members of the Nigeria Labour Congress during the strike action. We also have this set of pictures from Ibadan, the Oyo state capital, showing some of the protesters during the strike as well. Back here in Lagos is this picture of a gridlock on Awolowo Way in Ikeja, the capital city. According to our Eyewitness reporter, the gridlock was caused by protesters during the ongoing industrial action. Our last one is from the Pt.2 area of Lagos, showing sagging electricity cables. Our Eyewitness reporter raises the concern of the danger this poses. Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures, and we ask that you keep them coming. Now, workers in Oshogbo, the Osun state capital, stayed off work today in total compliance with the NLC directive. In Ile-Ife town, vehicular movement and other activities were disrupted when workers and students barricaded the popular Mayfair roundabout, calling on the government to reverse its decision to increase the price of petrol. The state secretariat was also deserted as workers stayed away from their duty posts. And in Akwa Ibom State, protesters took to the streets in buses as they chanted solidarity songs, calling on the workers to vacate their offices. State authorities and security operatives met with the protesters and urged them to respect the rule of law. In the meantime, the Senate President has waded into the standoff between the federal government and the Nigeria Labour Congress over the new fuel price. Dr. Bukola Saraki today met with the NLC President Ayuba Waba to discuss ways of resolving the disagreement. Briefing journalists after the closed-door meeting, Dr. Saraki said that the NLC has shown commitment for dialogue and ending the rift.
Part of the course of the meeting was to find a solution to this impasse and trying to see how we can bring an end to this pending strike on the NLC and the present disagreement with government. I'm happy to report that the NLC have shown their commitment to continue dialogue with government, and our role is to see that we can facilitate that, so as through dialogue we can address the issues. I'm encouraged by what they've said and confident that we'll be able to do this. I know when they leave here, they're also going to meet with the House, and hopefully the role both the House and the Senate will play our own role in facilitating and ensuring that we bring the two parties together so that we can find a lasting solution that will reduce the hardship to the Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, whatever constituency we are, whether in the labor or we all are the interests of the Nigerian people.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress says the partial deregulation of the petroleum downstream sector remains the best option to resolve the problems in the petroleum sector. Addressing members of the party in Abuja, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said the price increase became imperative as the huge amount spent on fuel subsidy is no longer sustainable. Our correspondent Linda Ahigbe reports.
The deregulation of the petroleum downstream sector has thrown up debates and discussions at the Parliament between the federal government and organized labor, at different fora and even on the streets. The discussion is extending to the ruling party, which has to explain the new policy to Nigerians at the grassroots. This is the reason why the leadership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, is bringing these politicians and ministers from the cabinet to understand the new policy and the implications on the economy. The Minister of Information explains why the federal government rolled out the new fuel price regime.
We simply invited all the stakeholders. Saying, why have you not been able to bring in fuel? And he told us, we cannot because we have no access to foreign exchange. Okay, let's sit down. What are the options? And they advise us that if they can be allowed to source their quantity from the subsidiary market, then we can sit down together and work out the template. So we sat with them. So, okay, what is the cost of dollar in the market we are going to? They gave us. We added transportation. We added insurance and logistics, and we said, given this, you can still make a profit if you sell between 135 and 145.
Which the federal government introduced set it on a war path with the labor union, which has embarked on a 3-day warning strike. The Ayuba-Waba-led NLC is protesting the increase in fuel price from 86.50 naira to 145 naira, which the union believes will bring hardship on Nigerian workers. Despite the meetings between the federal government and labor, the labor unions refused to back down. But the Minister of Labour says the body language by the NLC indicates that they are not ready for dialogue.
The next day, NLC came. They said they will not discuss any further unless we revert back to 86 naira 50 kobo. So we found out from their body language that they were not ready for further discussion because they had already made up their mind to go on strike.
But the Nigerian Labour Congress, in the press statement, says it is still determined to continue its strike action on Friday and would not allow any distraction to take the union of what it terms a path of honor. Linda Akibi, Channels Television News.
On to legal matters, and the first prosecution witness in the trial of former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Mr. Godsday Orubebe, who is charged for false declaration of assets at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, says the former minister failed to declare property he owns in Abuja. The witness told the tribunal that a document he obtained from the FCT Land Registry indicates that there were 3 plots of land allocated to Mr. Orubebe, of which he declared only 2. He added that the plot in question, which was allocated to the former minister on April the 10th, 2011, was not declared as at the time he was leaving office as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The first prosecution witness in the ongoing trial of the former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godsday Orubebe, over a 1-count charge of short declaration of assets, is the lead investigator of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Mr. Samuel Madojemu said the former minister declared only 2 out of 3 plots of land allocated to him in Maitama, Guzape and Asokoro districts of Abuja in his end of tenure declaration, with the right of occupancy and the certificate of occupancy of the declared assets signed by the defendant himself. He says documents obtained from the FCT Department of Land Administration shows that title documents were issued for plot 2057 in Asokoro, Abuja, and collected on behalf of the minister on June 13, 2011, prior to the end of tenure declaration by the former minister on June 27 of 2011. The witness says there was no place in the asset declaration form where Mr. Orubebe indicated the said plot was given to him by the federal government free of charge. He further testified during re-examination by prosecution counsel Mohammed that he called the defendant on telephone to come and clarify issues regarding plot 2057, an invitation he failed to honor, and reason for which the prosecution says he should be held accountable.
Earlier on, he had given a very credible evidence before the court. And that evidence he had given on the last adjourned date was not contradicted, even under very rigorous cross-examination by the defense.
But the defense counsel Larry Selekowe, who ascertained during cross-examination of the witness that he did not confirm in his investigation that the documents were delivered to the former minister before his declaration of assets, insists that there is no credible evidence against his client.
There's no connection whatsoever between the said plots and the defendant. No connection, no nexus. That plot got to the hands of the defendant, or that it is with the defendants.
Chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, has adjourned the case till Tuesday, May 24, for cross-examination of the second prosecution witness. Omelogo, Nadi Channels Television News.
Africa remains the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy, and that's according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyema, who paid a brief visit to the Nigerian Institute of Foreign Affairs today. He notes that the nation's foreign policies are aimed at bridging trade and economic relations between Nigeria and other African countries. Mr. Onyema adds that the ministry will also work towards drawing foreign direct investments to the country through a one-stop website with information on trade and investment.
We diversify our economy. What we see is that only 12% of trade takes place amongst African countries, and we're looking to increase our trade. So we have a real margin for operation there. So we are now looking at ways to promote, in fact, to achieve a free movement of business people across Africa, because at the moment there are too many barriers, visas and all kinds of things. So that's again where the Foreign Ministry can make a real contribution. And we are looking at starting initially with maybe a group of 8 countries at the highest level, coming together, signing up, within a year, and other countries can join later. So we have a larger market for our business people to expand and trade in, and then on the other side, the one-stop shop to access. But that one-stop shop to access 119 countries, there's also the converse of foreign direct investment, where those same focal points in those 119 countries in the embassies and missions will also have to work to get possible investors and entrepreneurs from those countries to also upload or go onto that database and look at opportunities where they can come into Nigeria.
When the News at 10 returns, federal government plans to withdraw subsidy for fertilizer procurement to ensure availability to farmers. And that will be on business. Please stay with us.